fewer does remain in estrus. Most have already been bred, and the number of bucks still cruising the hardwoods is dropping fast. Now much of our hunting strategy revolves around food, and that is where we focus our evening hunts. However, the mornings aren't totally dead. Setting up on the edge of bedding areas can still produce encounters with those last few cruising bucks. On the morning of November 25th, Owen Reigler is back on stand, trying to connect with one of these rut holdouts.
Well, hopefully you guys can hear me. I forgot my wireless this morning. Beautiful morning. It's in like the mid-30s. Right now we've got a southwest wind, which is carrying back into this. Well, some TSI stuff that I hinge cut, try to get them not to use it, but this wind's supposed to shift more westerly here in about an hour, and then northwest, which would be like that. So we'll see how that goes. But we're up here after that picket fence buck. He was in here a lot last year this time of year, but this year he's been, well, you can see that hillside of corn over there. He's been over there more so, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him up here at all. This is where I found his sheds, right here on this hill. So we'll see how it goes. We'll sit in here for a little while, watch the sunrise, and hopefully see some deer.
125 miles to the northeast, Caleb Greiner is also on stand, and the action starts early.
Well, I finally got time to do an interview here. Good morning, guys. It is November 25th, and actually encountered the mature 10 that we had about 20 yards last night. Filmed him in night vision mode, but I loved it. That's one deer on this farm so far that I definitely wrapped my tag around. This morning I actually had a really good encounter. This is a great example of why this week is still very, very good and very overlooked as well. A deer that I call Curly came about 20 yards from the tree, chasing a doe. I heard him grunting when I was filming a little buck behind me, and turned around and there he was. And it would have been a great deer for Josh to wrap his tag around. He's gonna join me here probably in about 20 minutes. But we'll see you November 25th, y'all.
With Caleb in the tree and Josh Sparks on the ground, the two bow hunters wait for the buck to go past. Back in southern Iowa, Owen Reigler reaches for his rattling antlers.
sure he was gonna pick us off. He was just one step at a time. He's like 8 yards right there. That's a buck we've seen a couple of times, and I have no history prior to this year, but we determined he was a mature buck that we wanted to take out of here, so yeah, finally on the board.
Hey, happy birthday.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Today's my birthday. That's a birthday buck. Yeah, sure enough. Well, my arrow's just right here. Let's grab that. And we heard him crash just down the hill, not far, so let's go take a look at him. That's the way we like to see him. Sounded like he was right in this area right here. Well, he's lodged under that log right there. He made a heck of a commotion. This is some of that area we TSI'd here as well. We seen this deer, it was probably 2 weeks ago. We were hunting in a redneck blind and he came out, and I don't know if he caught movement that day or what, but he was awful hawky that day, and he was today as well. Worked out perfect today. Let's see if we can get him moved out of here a little bit. We'll get a tag on him first and we'll drag him out of here. And I don't know where this deer came from other than this year. I have no history with this buck. We just seen him the other day out of that redneck blind, and we knew it was one we wanted to target. And on this farm especially, if I can shoot a deer that's mature, then I'm a happy camper. That's what we want to do. And it's my birthday today. I just had a couple of days to hunt, and a lot of you guys know that my mom's not doing well, and so it's nice to get to go back and spend some more time with her and regroup, and we'll be back hopefully for shotgun season. We'll see how it goes, but definitely a beautiful day to be out and a beautiful buck.
The morning of the 25th finally afforded Owen a shot at a mature buck. Josh and Caleb's action continued that evening, but no mature bucks cooperated. The following day the story is much the same. 2 encounters with solid bucks, but no good shot opportunities. Owen Reigler is back in the woods finishing up a few small projects before returning home to spend time with his family. That is when a commotion in the woods grabs his attention.
Oh my gosh, he wants to kill him. Well guys, I don't know really what we can do as lively as they are. There's no way to get close to that one. He's all worked up. We brought a chainsaw to try and cut him apart, but at this point I don't think that's an option. Wrap it around the tree, Joe. I'd say you got one. There you go. You got him. Now we got to get rid of the rope. Hated to put them through all that stress, but they were not going to come apart. They were going to lay there and die otherwise. So kudos to Joe. Nice work right there. Shed season has started early. The first man-made shed of the year right there. What the heck? Hey, don't try that at home. That's dangerous, but I couldn't sit there and let them die like that. Well, we got stuff to get done. Let's get going.
3 days later, Jared Mills is back on the river farm.
Alright, it's November 29th. Max and I are all settled in for our afternoon hunt. I like this day because you can see essentially the entire farm, except for back in the timber, obviously. But any of the food, any of the surrounding ag fields, all this WRP bedding, you can basically see it all this time of year. Obviously would love to see Marino tonight. I believe he's still kicking around. I wouldn't pass that deer, but I'd really love to see some random new buck. Being a river bottom property and this time of November, it wouldn't be all that surprising to have a new buck show up, so I'd love for that to happen. We'll see how the night goes. The conditions aren't great, kind of heavy air, falling barometer, but this farm hasn't been pressured for a while, so I'm hoping we'll have a good hunt.
While Jared waits for a surprise river bottom bruiser, 50 miles to the north, Mike Reed is heading out for an urban zone hunt.
Well, it's Friday, November 29th. Happy belated Thanksgiving to everyone. Jake and I are back after him in the urban zone. We're in a familiar spot. We've hunted this tree maybe 4 or 5 times this year. We're in this little cove off this cut cornfield, and we got a little bit of standing corn. It's overcast, and hopefully that makes them move a little bit earlier. So got a little over 2 hours left. Hoping something shows up. A deer over there walking across. That's a good buck. That's my 8-pointer. Just facing away from us. Are we out here? No, he's coming. He's coming toward us. He still hasn't heard it. Oh, he heard you. He heard you. He's looking again. Still looking. He turned around. Oh, he probably smelled us. Well, that's one of the bucks that I've got pictures of in here. And I just looked back on the ridge and saw him cutting across. I'm pretty sure he got our wind. I tried throwing a few grunts at him, and he stopped and looked, but one problem with this spot is it's pretty open, so I think he could probably see fairly well over here, even though it's probably 130, 140 yards away where he was. Anyway, it's about 4:15, so we have just under an hour left. There's a few other deer in the area, so I'm hoping the next group comes out like I want them to.
Mike's evening ends without another look at the buck. Back on Jared's river bottom, the deer are beginning to pile out.
Be interested to see what they feed on. Might be the black-eyed dead. black-eyed deer. Grunting again. Yeah. That's Marino. That's gotta be Marino. Yeah, that's Marino. Ted's got posture to him. Come on, dude. Those does coming out by him. He's following the bucks. I'm gonna leave him alone. Well, that's pretty cool. That is our first encounter with Marino since 2017. He was around the property last year, but we never encountered him. So it was awesome to see him again. We believe he's 6.5 years old, just a brute of a deer. We'll be back out after that deer, I'm sure, hopefully sometime before Iowa shotgun season rolls in next weekend. So we basically got a little less than a week to try to get it done. Between hunting that deer and the other deer that I've been having encounters with, hopefully I can close the deal on one of them within this next week.
With the coming of darkness, the month of November ends. Like October, there was enough action this past month to satisfy an entire season. For the Midwest Whitetail team, it was our best rut ever.
We'll be back hopefully for shotgun season. We'll see how it goes, but definitely a beautiful day to be out and a beautiful buck. Hey, don't try that at home. That's dangerous, but I couldn't sit there and let them die like that. Well, we got stuff to get done. Let's get going.
Between hunting that deer and the other deer that I've been having encounters with, hopefully I can close the deal on one of them within this next week.
Owen Reigler's successful hunt showed us that even late in the rut, mornings are still worth hunting. Caleb Griner and Josh Sparks weren't far from connecting, but nonetheless, both hunters closed the month with tags in their pockets. Jared Mills now has 2 main targets, and with less than a week remaining until the end of the state's first archery split, he plans each move carefully. Mike Reed finally saw a good buck within the city limits, but the excitement was gone as fast as it arrived. After a 3-week grind in the challenging urban zone, Mike eagerly awaits the late season when he will once again have a statewide tag. With the rut ending, strategies become one-dimensional. Find the food and you'll find the deer. Those hunting in Iowa have less than a week before the regular gun season opens. December may be here, but the shadow of the rut still hangs over us. We now adjust our strategies to fit the new behavior, but our minds haven't shaken the memories of when we were chasing November.